Have you ever wondered what your life would be like if you had a second chance? Are you willing to take a gamble, open your heart, and change your thoughts and perspective for a new chance at life? Welcome to the Wisdom Cafe. I'm your host, Arthur Tassinello, a relationship and leadership coach and mentor. Join me each week for insights into how you can have more love, happiness, peace, and abundance in your life without giving up who you are. Know that you are powerful and you are the governor of your life. So listen, learn, and leap into a better future. Hi everyone, I'm Arthur Tassinello, your host for the Wisdom Cafe. Welcome to another episode today. And as always, if you want a second chance in life, how do you do that? Well, it's all up to you, because change happens only when you make the change. Although I can also say that change happens all the time around you, but without your permission. So do you want to be part of the change, or do you want change to happen to you? Today I have a very special guest, Blanca Rodriguez. Her show is, or your website is, the mentalhealthconcierge.net. Now, Blanca is a licensed massage therapist. She also, this is very interesting to me because I never heard of this until I met Blanca, that you can actually, she's a certified canine massage therapist as well. She's a Toastmaster speaker. She's a co-author of the book Impact Leadership. I think you have that with you today, right?
Yes, I do.
And just show it here. And Blanca will talk about that in a little bit too. So she's a certified health coach, group fitness instructor, and member of the American Massage Therapy Association. Her website is thementalhealthconcierge.net, where you can learn more about what Blanca does and how she operates and how she can help you. So Blanca, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Arthur. What an honor to be here today.
Well, as I said before, I'm not sure it's going to be an honor, but thanks for saying that.
Absolutely.
So you've done a lot of things, and of course you get to a certain place in life and you say to yourself, wow, look where I am. But like everybody else in life, you weren't always where you are today. You started out maybe in some really tough places, right?
Absolutely.
And things happened in your life. So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about, who you are and not only what you do, but some of the struggles that you had getting to where you are today.
Well, in my childhood, I grew up around mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
Many family members, including my own mother, had chronic mental illness. And in those times, let's say the 50s and 60s, mental illness was taboo. Mental illness was never spoken of. And many people will live with mental illness, I could say, like their whole entire lives without even being treated. So my mother was one of those cases. I lost my father at a very young age. He died tragically. His life was taken. And along my life, there was a lot of silence. There was a lot of, you don't talk about the dead, you don't talk about wrong things, you don't talk about certain things that are so important to talk about. And losing my father, being a victim of sexual harassment and sexual assault was one of those things that really marked me and made me go quiet. But my silence didn't really take me anywhere until later on in life, I decided that change had to happen.
So that change for you, this is a very important piece, because when you were saying, about mental illness, the way it was treated back then or wasn't treated, I know my mom had some problems, but it was more because of prescription drugs. Doctors often like, oh, take this, take that, take that. They still do it today, but back then it was even more prevalent. And also back then, you didn't go against your doctor.
That's right.
Right? Your doctor was, he's God.
Yes.
And I'm going to listen to him. So that, combined with some other things that were going on in her life and alcohol, she died at a very young age as well, unfortunately. But again, what you're talking about is either you didn't say anything about it, or you took medications in silence, basically, by doctor's orders. So obviously that affected you in a lot of ways, negative ways.
Absolutely, yes.
Kind of, how did you deal with that, and how did you get from then to where you are today?
Along my life, I made many mistakes based on my silence, based on not speaking up, based on low self-esteem, based on having no self-worth, because of the trauma of growing up in such silence and taboo. One day, I was at a doctor's office, and there was this wonderful book that it was there, and it was meant to be called The Secret.
Oh, I remember that. Oh my goodness.
I
Yes.
related to the title of that book because of my life being surrounded by so many secrets, by so much silence. So once I opened that book, I said, okay, this is it. This is the new road to recovery, a new restart in my life, to do different things, to look for answers to all of my questions, to understand that the wounds were not my fault, but the healing definitely was my responsibility. And once I picked up that book, that was a major open door to much better things to come. That is a fact.
Thank you. So I will assume, and you can talk about it some more in a little bit here, that there were other books, of course, that continued to help your healing process, but you wanted to do it, right?
Absolutely.
You wanted the change. So as I always tell my audience, if you don't do anything about it yourself, no one is going to come over to you and tap you on the shoulder or give you all the answers. The answers do come to you. They absolutely do come to you. But you need to, one, recognize it, and number two, decide that you want to do something about your life. Blaming other people all the time, it's her fault, it's his fault, it's my parents' fault, it's my kid's fault, whatever that is, it's my extended family's fault. You're always part of the equation. And you have 100% responsibility. Some people say you're 50% of it, but you're 100% responsible for your actions and what you do and how things go in your life.
Exactly.
So
yes.
make the change.
Hit that
which is exactly what you did.
Well, yeah, make the change, hit that restart button. Change is a constant. Change is unavoidable. Change is part of the human experience. And the more we embrace these changes, the better off we will be in this life, no matter which age we are.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what made, now, so you're making these positive changes in your life. Your life is starting to get better at this point in time. You were married for a while, right? And then divorced?
Yes,
Is that what happened?
yes. I was in an abusive relationship with my ex-partner. We had 2 kids in this relationship. And in the middle of that turmoil, in the middle of that dark season in my life is when that book, The Secret, came to my life. And it was one of the biggest blessings in disguise for me. And after I picked up The Secret, I started picking up so many other books for so many other people, Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, Marianne Williamson, and so many others. And that was the start of me paving the way to say to myself, I deserve better. I can do better than this. I am going to do better. And years later, I walked out on that relationship. I prayed. I wrote down a list of what I was looking for, what I definitely deserve on this partner in life that was there, out there somewhere, waiting for me. And after I made that list, 3 months later, I met my now husband.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. And we've been 10 years married.
So it's not a quick road.
No. Definitely it wasn't.
So you finally found that path, and you started walking down that path, and along the path you found all these other ways along the path to, like, it's like picking flowers or something. I got a new flower here that's teaching me something else, right?
Yes.
I have a new plant or a new animal that came across, and it's teaching me something else.
Always.
And because we're always learning, absolutely always learning. But well, I have to stop myself sometimes because maybe I generalize too much. Maybe it's like everybody, all of you, and so forth, and that's absolutely not true. We're all different in our own way. We all have our own path to go down. I noticed that I was talking to my sister on the way here today, and thinking about you coming on the show and knowing your story, and knowing a few other people that I related to kind of had the same trauma in their life. And I said to my sister, I said, sure, there was a little bit of trauma in our life, you know, between mom and dad and things that were going on. I said, but I am just so grateful that I didn't have the traumatic experience that you had, or that somebody else had, or somebody else had. And I always get back to, we're all in the middle someplace. Some of us have really traumatic experiences. Some of us are on the other end, not so bad.
Yeah.
But to look at ourselves and go, all right, how can my life, not only my life, be better? And there was another word that Lori said. Lori's on the sidelines. What word did you use, Lori? Help me here.
Expansive?
No.
Expand.
But anyway, to get to it.
Thrive, expand.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew you were going to call it. Evolve.
Evolve.
Oh
Thank
my
you very
God,
much.
yes.
So it's not, and I want to use that word more often, so I'm going to remember it from now on. It's not just getting better, it's evolving. It's evolving so that your life is improved, and then I guarantee you that as your life improves, you will improve the lives around you. Because people will start to see you differently. They'll start look at you and they go, how did he change? How did she change? What's going on? Hairstyle, beard, no beard, whatever it is, they won't really equate to how you act differently.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my goodness.
Right?
So true.
Yeah, it's those actions. I like to, I probably do this on every show, which is, there's a proverb. Watch your thoughts because they become your words. Watch your words because they become your actions. Watch your actions because they become your character. Watch your character because it becomes your destiny. I may have left one line out, but in essence, it all starts with a thought. The thought of how are you going to do things? How are you going to move forward for yourself and for society? I'm going to jump off and I'm going to really make a leap here for a second, because I like to be and I'll just say the king of love, or Dr. Love, as I was named in my Toastmaster organization, because I'm always speaking about love and I'm always writing about
I
it.
love that. That's perfect.
Love is my foundation, and as you find more love in your heart, the more love you have, the more, I'd say, the kinder you can be. And kindness goes to the other virtues, which is being more empathetic, or being more compassionate, or being more caring, or any of those things. And so here, you and I go out today and we make good friends with Dawn over there and Lori over here. And then the four of us go out the next day and we make good friends with somebody else, in the sense that we are not going to do harm to those people that we just made friends with. They can do whatever they want. They're not going to do any harm to us. We're not going to do any harm to them. So as the days go on, it multiplies. It doubles, actually, every day that goes on. So we went from 4 to 8 to 16 to 32 to 64 to 128 to, 258, 256, 512, 1024, and so on. What you're probably guessing, or I'm going to ask you the question, then I'm going to give you the answer anyway, but the question is, how many people do you think we will reach at the end of 33 days?
Many.
And the answer is more than all the people on the planet, over 8 billion. So if somebody says to you, we can't create peace in this world, I say, I think we can if we really want to.
I cannot agree with you more.
So the possibility is always there. I live with that possibility all the time. Every single time. So the possibility that I can create more peace in the world by being more loving and kind and compassionate with you, or empathetic, or Lori, or anybody else, that's my job.
Yes.
I've taken that on for me. I want you to take that on for yourself, because I guarantee you 100% your life will be so much richer. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to have any problems anymore. Problems just don't go away. There's always something to deal with, whatever that is in life, whether it's your job or some other person. But you have the opportunity at that point to step back and go, I'm not going to be that person.
And we keep on going, and self-love is the best love there is.
Absolutely.
It's the most unconditional love
Yeah.
that there can be.
Right.
With my work with animals, especially with animals, I learn every single time I work on a dog what unconditional love is. The love that these animals express to their human companions. The total trust that they put on me, and I just met them. And it's like this wonderful movie that says, I just met you, but I love you. Is absolutely
Right.
true. They are such pure souls. And if we want to know and see anything that has to do with pure love, look at an animal, and definitely there is the answer right there.
Isn't that's so interesting to me. How is it that the animals can be so trusting and so loving, and we find it so difficult? We're supposed to be smarter than animals. I'm not so sure about that sometimes.
Well, I am reading this really powerful book called Your Dog is Your Mirror. And according to the author of this book, dogs don't think and they don't reason. They go based on emotion. And their emotions will never lie to them. Yes, so these beings are very emotional beings. So when somebody says your dog is the reflection of you, you better believe it's very true. You want to know someone, you
Right.
can get to know them better by the way their dog behaves.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yes,
I
sir,
should tell that to a
absolutely.
friend of mine. But we're going to take a break here, and we'll be back in just a minute or two. Thank you, folks. See you in a little bit.
Have you ever wondered what your life would be like if you had a second chance? Are you willing to take a gamble and change your thoughts and perspective? Welcome to the Wisdom Cafe. I'm your host, Arthur Tassinello, a relationship and leadership coach and mentor. Join me each Wednesday at 3 p.m. to explore what it is to be human and create that second chance.
You've been watching The Wisdom Cafe with Arthur Tassinello. For more information, please contact the studio at 888-994-4995 or send an email to arthur@arthurtassinello.com. And now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. And that was fast because I barely had a chance to take a breath. But that's okay because I love this. I love doing this with people. I love understanding how other people get through life and understanding what their situation was at one time in their life. We all grow up the same, right? In the first 7 years of our life, supposedly, and I think this is true, we learn everything on how to do things, I should say, only through our parents. We're starting to go to school. Maybe it's our extended family, maybe it's our siblings. Maybe it's from the other little kids that because we're just going to school at 5 and 6, or maybe even 4 in
Yes.
what do you call that?
Preschool.
Preschool, thank you, preschool. And so here, we're whatever our environment is, whatever our religion is, whatever our ethnicity is and so forth, that plays a huge part in who we are and how we become more of who we are.
Absolutely.
But we don't, and I don't want to say that you don't want to be that way, but you start to have to learn how to be yourself at some point in time. And it takes time.
Yes, really does.
And only if you're invested, if there are any kids watching, I can only say to you that take the good stuff. Here's an example. I learned, it took me a long time, but I realized that I learned a number of things from my dad. Things that he did right and things that he didn't do right. My perception, by the way, my perspective on it. But what I got is that from the things that he didn't do right, I could change that for me. He was the guy that often said, you know, Arthur, if I only did da 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 da, my life would be better here. If I only invested here, I'd have more money. If I only da da da. In some respects, I learned not to say if only, which I thought was good for me. But on the other part of that was sometimes because I went too far the other way and I tried everything without sometimes really thinking about it. But here's all the lessons that I'm getting at, right?
the lessons, be just not introspective, but also look at what you're learning, and sometimes maybe question what you're learning. If it doesn't feel good here, it's probably not good for you or good out there.
Exactly.
Right?
Follow your gut.
Yeah, follow your gut.
Follow your gut. Yes.
So you wrote, is it this passage or this chapter that you wrote in the book?
Yeah.
Was that just about your life, or was there more to it than that?
It was about my life, the ups and downs, the in and out.
Mm-hmm.
That's why my chapter is called Roller Coaster Ride.
Ah, yes.
Yes, because my life really has been a roller coaster ride. And I love roller coasters since I was a little kid, but I didn't know how much it will come together when I wrote this chapter almost 3 years ago.
Is that long ago?
Yes,
Wow.
well, it took me a year to write the chapter because
Right.
it was so emotional and so many things that I had really deeply rooted
Sure.
were coming out. And it was a lesson.
Mhm.
Life is always about lessons.
Yeah.
And this chapter helped me open the door to speak up. That's where I said, okay, am I going to speak up? I'm going to speak up to the masses. I'm going to speak up to whoever wants to pick up this book and read my chapter. And not only me, but the other co-authors, there's 29 other co-authors from all over the world, from all walks of life, that they are all speaking up about their lives, the ups and downs, and how lessons
Right.
has taken them to be authors like myself. I never
Right.
thought in a million years that I will be writing a chapter for a book, that it will be printed, that it will be in Amazon, that it will be a bestseller in my category.
Right.
I never thought about that when I was approached and said, hey, do you want to do an
Right.
interview for co-authorship? And I'm like, yeah, sure. 15 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes. 45 minutes later, I think it was
Right.
a great thing. And
Yeah.
that was definitely that was a huge door for me to open up, to speak up
Right.
to where I am today.
So that's really interesting, because what I get from it, of course, and what you got from it, was really going deep in understanding yourself and just writing about that.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to do a little commercial for my book, because
Yes, please.
okay, Your Key to Love and Happiness sounds like a fun title, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, what's the key? Because we all, most of us want that instant secret, right? It's like, well, tell me the secret, and I'll just go do it. I wish it was that easy. I wish I could say to you, abracadabra, and all of a sudden, if you said that, your life would change. And
Yeah.
it's not that. It just isn't that, and it never will be that for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But what's in here is questions. I mean, deep questions about yourself.
Oh, that's fantastic.
These are things that you want to do by yourself, totally on your own. You don't have to share it with anybody. This is kind of like your therapy in a book, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to a therapist or seek other help if you need that. But what I'm getting at is that this will allow you to understand yourself better. Why do I do what I do? Why do I act that way? You'll start to uncover, like you uncovered, right? The
Yes.
things that happened in your life that triggered you to do something else.
Definitely.
Some things maybe not so good, some things better, but really finding yourself.
And the wonderful thing about your book is that people can just come back to it
Yes.
and review later on and make those questions again, and maybe they will find a different answer.
Yes, that is
Yes,
true too.
absolutely, absolutely.
Because the one answer isn't always the answer.
Exactly,
Right? And
yes.
as we find out. Right. Right. So we're good. We still have some time left.
Oh, good.
I'm happy about that. So tell people how they can reach you for either massage or canine massage or anything else that you offer.
Of
What's
course,
the best way to do that?
of course. My website is called thementalhealthconcierge.net. I have a wonderful blog there. You can reach me there. My phone number is 772-475-0126. You can text me, call me.
Right.
I'm here to serve. I'm here to help you and your dog. Definitely. It
Right.
will be my biggest honor to do so.
I have to tell you, folks, that I've had several massage therapies with Blanca. She's absolutely wonderful. She's very
Thank you.
gentle, but also she gets deep in the sense that, you know, you start to really feel relaxed. And the other thing I love about Blanca is because I've known you for a few years now
Yes.
through Holistic Education Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
She always shows up with a smile
Yes.
and gratitude, I know, for everything. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank
This is such a
you.
blessing for me. I love having people like you on the show because we get to talk about rich stuff, but also examples of that we're all going through to some degree. I think I mentioned that before. We're all
Yes.
going through, we all have some trauma in our life, something that's not right. For parents, this is my perspective, parents, maybe it's time to be more gentle with your kids. I remember there was a movie that came out, was about, they had to say yes to their kids all the time. Boy, was that hard. Now, I'm not saying you're supposed to say yes to your kids all the time, but
Oh
maybe
my
there's
God.
an in-between, because I know so often we grow up with, no, don't do that. No, don't touch that. No, don't go here. No, don't do this.
Exactly.
And it has an effect, and it's probably not always a good effect. And for kids, remember that your parents were your age one time, so that they know what's going on in your life because they probably did kind of the same things.
Absolutely, I cannot agree with you more.
Right.
And as a parent that I am of a 25-year-old and a 21-year-old, when they were kids, I was in a very different mindset in my life at that point.
Sure.
And as they kept on growing, and I have kept on growing, I have come back to them many times over and have those conversations that are so needed
Yes.
for that unity between parent and kids. I am a true believer that me and my kids are in the same space. I am not above them. They're not beneath me. We are here to learn from each other and learn for each other. And I cannot be more grateful to have the amazing relationship that I have with them
Right.
today, because wherever they are, they don't live in Florida, but wherever they are, they will always come back to Mama to
Yeah.
see her no matter what. And they plan on it, they pay for their tickets, and they're happy always to see me. So I think
know.
I did something right
I
here.
think you
So
did
I'm
too.
very happy
Yeah.
about that.
I have 2 children as well. My son he's a private chef out in San Francisco. We had our issues growing up because there was a 23-year difference between him and his half-sister, stepsister.
Wow.
And, you know, there's beauty in both. My son and I have learned to heal our relationship because I wasn't the best dad, being in the sense that I wasn't around all the time because of an early divorce with his mom. And it was totally different for myself, my daughter and me, because I was in that relationship the whole time.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
anyway, we have to go. Unfortunately, I love being here with you. I want you to know that you have the opportunity to change at all times. I want to thank again Blanca for being here.
Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much. I really appreciate your
Thank you.
being here. And folks, just go out there and maybe do this. Think about somebody that you love and you care about, that you haven't talked to in a long time, that's been on your mind. You don't know how much longer you're going to be here in this life. I don't know. I don't know how much longer, but I know this. I want to reach out to somebody. I always want to tell my kids I love them, or my parents. Unfortunately, they're not here anymore. Pick up the phone or text somebody. Tell them you love them.
Yes.
Because it's the most important thing you can do in your life. Until next time, thank you again for being here at the Wisdom Cafe. I love you. Lots of blessings and love.
You have been watching the Wisdom Cafe. Join me each Wednesday at 3 p.m. to explore what it is to be human and create that second chance, as I examine ways about how you can have more peace, love, and happiness in your life. Until next week, remember this: when you change what you do and the way you look at things, the things you